What's up, guys? It's Duke here from sportsgamers.com, and I'm very excited for today's Madden 20 tip, guys. I'm going to break down a fire defense. This is my favorite overall defense in the game to stop the run, bring pressure, and play lockdown coverage all at the same time. You can use this against all the money offensive schemes out there, like the tight offset, trips formations, bunch formations, split close, all of that. This is very, very effective against any offense you're going to see out there. I highly recommend putting this in your arsenal. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm in the Dolphins playbook, and I'm going to show you guys how you can lock up all sorts of things from this one very play. So, the Dolphins playbook on defense has this big dime, 2-3-6 Sam, and it's the DB Fire 2. So, I want to go over a few things about this formation. I would definitely recommend using this with at least one defensive line pass rush ability, preferably a D tackle. I would put your fastest corners, best man guys in the slot. We will be either blitzing them or manning them up. And I would put some safeties in at linebacker if your linebackers are not fast or in good coverage. Okay? Now, that's pretty much all I would recommend doing. I mean, it's not anything crazy, but, it definitely does, make a pretty, I would say, noticeable difference by you guys, following these instructions. So, let's look at it now, DB Fire 2. So, first of all, I just want to show you guys how easy this defense really is to run. It can be run in so many different ways. Let's start off with just running a simple blitz with the running back blocked. So one thing I always do when I run this defense is I always just move these slot corners to the inside, and that's to disguise my defense. Now, at this point, this is what makes this defense so good. I can blitz or I can play coverage. Now, before we get into the exact setups, I do want to remind you guys to please subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button in the corner of the video, and make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss out on any of our great tips you don't want to miss when our content goes live. And in the meantime, if you want more Madden 20 content to get better at the game, whether it's on offense or defense, be sure to head on over to sportsgamers.com. We have the best Madden 20 tips and ebooks available. All right, so all that said, I want to show you guys how you can get some easy pressure here before anything else. So the beauty of this defense is, on offense, I'm never going to know, are they blitzing? Are they playing coverage? I never know. So I don't know. Do I need to max protect and send only 3 guys out? Do I need to send everyone out because they're dropping in coverage? That's the mind game here, which is what makes this so good. So, let's say I just want to blitz. Okay, at this point, all I need to do is just contain, and then I like to use this linebacker on the running back side and man myself up to him, and that's pretty much all I have to do. One of the other things I love about this defense are the soft squats. Soft squats are my favorite default zone on this year's game. They just play everything so well. I mean, obviously there are ways to manipulate them, but for a stock zone, they do a great job. They do a lot more than other stock zones on this game. Now, obviously, if I'm worried about the seams, I could definitely put this guy in a mid-read. He's going to defend that better. Mid-reads defend the seams, and post routes pretty good on this year's game. If I'm not, I could leave him in the vert hook. But the first thing you're going to notice is if they just try to, run a normal setup, block the running back, or maybe not block anybody. So you guys can see, as you can see in a second here, I'm going to block the running back and just sending 4 out and just blocking the running back. This is a simple blitz, but it's going to get good pressure, as you guys can see here, just right off that edge. It's a 5-man blitz. But, if you're not expecting this, you're not going to pick it up. And it's just with the slot corners. As you guys can see here, quick, easy pressure. I'm just sitting over the middle. I've manned myself up on the running back, but my assignment is really just over the middle. So, right off the bat, you don't know, what is he doing here? Is he going to play all-out coverage? Is he going to blitz? That's the beauty of this defense is you never really know. I could send these 2 corners off the edge, and you guys can imagine in MUT, especially, where there's 99 speed corners everywhere, having these 2 guys fly off the edge, it's going to be some quick pressure, and a lot of people can't deal with that. Now, I will say, you can run this defense against really any type of passing offense, like tight bunch, spread, trip stuff. It doesn't really matter, but I would definitely not recommend running this against a heavy under-center run offense like I-tight or single-back wing-tight or something like that. But this does a good enough job against inside zone that you should feel fine against that. But anyways, getting back into what I was showing. So one play, we sent in 5 people, and they're like, okay, well, obviously, those 5-man blitzes with the slot corners, we know those are annoying to block on this year's game. So what are they going to do next time? They're going to have enough, and, they're going to just naturally they're gonna, max protect, and this is where the mind games come in. So I see you want to max protect, right? Well, guess what I'm doing now? I am now going to go ahead, and I'm not sending 5. I am sending 3 with, again, probably a pass rush to elite at D-tackle, and I'm manning these corners up on whoever I deem to be the biggest threats on the play. That's what makes this defense so good, is that you never know, am I blitzing or am I playing coverage? Now, if I'm manning these guys, the outside receivers up, I'm definitely going to get rid of the soft squats because that's kind of overkill at that point. I don't need them manned up and having soft squats. And again, I'm just going to control this guy. So now they're expecting that blitz, and they've blocked to account for it. And now look, oh wait, everyone's manned up. I'm just going to play this over the middle myself, and now you're going to get a coverage sack. So this defense has the ability to lock down any and everything. You can take away literally everything someone wants to do with this defense at the drop of a hat. And you might be wondering, well, does this defend inside zone and like really that well? And it's like, yes, it does. It's not going to be like the most lockdown inside zone defense ever, but if you guys see here, I'm going to give you an example of one. It will definitely do a good enough job. So like me personally, again, I just know kind of like the gaps to hit on the inside zones from playing this game enough, but you guys will see, like if I try to just run the inside zone, I can do this exact same D, right? And I could just easily just get over here with my user, because I know like right here, like this is a good place to stand with my user. You run inside zone, the O-line's not going to recognize me, and I can just come right in on the inside zone. All right, guys, I want to show you guys that you don't even need to have all these guys blitzing. You can still blow up this inside zone from this defense without even having to blitz either of the slot corners. As long as you bring your user over here so the O-line doesn't recognize you, it's going to be a free tackle. You can just click off, easy, bam. Now, if they're in a formation that's a little bit different, like say that they're in this little, what was that, trio weak we were just in, and we want to be on the same side of the running back, well, this formation doesn't have an inside zone. They actually have a base. But, it's still very, very easy to do. Now, we might be able to blow it up the exact same way, but if we just stay over here on the running back side and we recognize it's a base or it's an inside zone or whatever it is, I can just pop around the other side and just meet them like that. And the thing is, if you keep these slot corners blitzing against formations like this, it's just really hard to run inside zone or base in general because they're going to come off that edge pretty fast. So if they are running the ball, you could definitely recommend keeping those guys blitzing a decent amount. And as you guys can see here, what I'm doing with my user is kind of just meeting him around the other way. But as you guys can see, they're definitely locked up here. There's not really anywhere to go. Like we got good D out there. So you guys can see we can bring pressure, we can play coverage, we can stop the run from shotgun, and again, it's just all a mind game. They never really know what in the world we're doing. So now you could see like a formation like bunch, right? Bunch, what do we got? We got a lot of posts, a lot of corners, that type of thing. So again, I can very easily just move my guys in, make whatever adjustments I want, man up, whoever I'm worried about. Basically, I'm going to say to myself, well, I want to take away this outside receiver, so I'm going to man him up. And then over here, generally speaking in bunch, I'm either worried about the slot or the outside receiver. Depending upon what route combos they do, I'll man up the slot here. And just knowing that, I already know that basically if anyone, I'm going to need to watch the tight end, maybe the running back, or maybe the outside receiver. So you guys can see here, got those two guys manned up. That means I just need to make sure this guy is guarded right here on this post, and it's a coverage stack. Obviously, the mid-read does do a pretty decent job of covering the seams, but knowing that I had the other two guys manned up already, I was not worried about any of that. If they want to throw a drag and maybe get 3-4 yards, I don't care. But as you guys can see here, it is a complete box. There is nothing open. This is just really, really good defense. As you guys can see it again here, this is a complete lockdown coverage that's going to be very, very difficult to get around. I mean, again, because you never know. Like, this is the beauty of this. Am I going to blitz or not? Am I going to play coverage, or am I going to drop back and, with only 3 rushers, or am I going to send 5 at you? You never truly know, and that's what makes this so annoying to deal with when you're on offense, is you really have no idea what to expect. Again, One play I'm blitzing you when you get sacked. The next play you're going to go max protect, and now I drop everyone back, and there's just nobody open. So, you just kind of have to stand there and either throw the ball away or try to scramble or take your sack. There's not much for you to do. This is a super versatile defense, guys. I don't want you guys to think this is only for bunch, only for tight, only for spread, only for trips. Nah, man, this is something you can run against absolutely anything, and it's gonna be very, very effective for you. As you guys can see here, there is literally nobody on the screen open whatsoever. We're just honestly sitting back, and we're just blanketing the entire field, guys. All right, guys, now I want to show how you can stop even rollout corners from this defense. We all know rollout corners are really hard to stop, but there are some things you can do to defend them. So there are some definitely good coverage adjustments out there that can slow rollout corners down. For instance, in this defense, we could baseline press, put this DB in an outside quarter, because when you baseline press with a DB in an outside quarter, it plays it reasonably well. Now, to be quite honest with you, it's not going to be good enough. However, what we can do past that is we can put this guy in a cloud flat, shade down, shade up, and now it's going to be a lot harder. If you have an outside quarter with a 90-plus zone rating and like high 90 speed, if they try to roll it to a corner route, you can click on, and most of the time you can break it up or make the play on the ball. But the thing is, we all know this year's game. You have a post-flag elite, stuff that's covered. It's not always gonna work out for you, because they'll get crazy animations with post-flag elite. So while this is very good coverage, you can't rely on this always working. So this is something you could do against rollout corner, and obviously you could do it on both sides too. It's not just on that side. If you're worried about both sides, you could do them, either. But we all know that's not going to work every time. It's definitely good defense, but you have to have other methods. So this is definitely a method to stop the rollout corners. But my preferred method is to actually just not even let them out of the pocket in general. So I will definitely mix up a defense like this. And if I do something like this, I'm definitely not, I'm definitely changing up the coverage. I'm probably going to put an inside third in here and just play on the safety, right? But at the same time, I don't even want them to always be able to know I'm playing coverage and just double team my end and try to throw it anyways. Sometimes I want to bring the dogs. And if I bring the dogs, I'm just going to simply just blitz my linebackers. But when I do that, I'm definitely going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to blitz the two slot corners like they already were. But, here's the thing. When people are trying to throw rollout corners, they need to know who's blitzing, who's not, right? Well, and who's uncontained. Well, normally the slot corners would be uncontained, so that's how they're going to look to block it. But if I actually make it so that instead of them being right here on the contains, I slide them out a step or two, and now they're not on contains and they're actually on blitz angles. And again, it's nothing obvious or drastic. It's not like I'm saying move them out here. No, just move them out a step or two, just like this. Nothing drastic, but it makes all the difference in the world, because now they're not on contains, the defensive ends are. And what is important about this is when you have the defensive ends on the contains and not the slot corners, it just makes it super hard to block. Now, obviously, at this point, I could press and bring these guys up in the box and make it look like 1-4-6. But I don't really even need to do that. That's just going to make it look like 1-4-6 and probably make it more obvious that you're blitzing. I don't really like to do that because I don't want to make it obvious that I'm blitzing. I want them to be used to that 3 to 5 man pass rush, not the 7-man rush. And if I feel like if I bring those guys up in the box, it just makes it more obvious. And again, the whole thing I love about this defense is just it's so easy to adjust from, and it's so easy to confuse the offense and hide what you're truly doing. So I actually like this. I like that it's not obvious I'm blitzing, because most of the time they're just going to be like, oh, well, I'll just motion this guy over here, and then I'll just do this or I'll do that. I'll just block the one side and roll out. He's only blitzing 5 at the most, right? And so let me just go ahead and slide, protect, and then ID, and, whatever. It's going to be blocked. Except for, now it's not, because even if you do block the running back, even if you do block the running back and get that slot corner blocked, which you're probably not, because, again, I'm not making it obvious that I'm blitzing 7. If they have identifier, maybe they see you on the safety and think maybe you're blitzing 7. But then, again, you could obviously just get on one of the inside linebackers that was blitzing if you really want to and fake blitz. But again, they're not really going to be expecting blitz 7, because I don't really blitz 7 that often from this defense, so they're probably not even going to motion block. But even if they are somehow able to get this corner blocked, The problem then becomes that now these corners are not actually on contains. They're on blitz angles, and my DNs are on contains. So as soon as you try to roll out, you can see this guy's on a contain, and he has outside leverage on this tackle. So he's just going to come off that block, and immediately it's going to be an issue. And the same thing over here. Like, you guys can see, both these guys are on the outside of these old linemen. So if you try to roll out over here, they're just going to, it's not going to work. So that's why I really like this. And you can even, like, kind of mix it up so that you really confuse them. If they start to, like, catch on a little bit. I didn't mean to do that. But, what I mean by that is maybe you keep one of the D linemen, one of the D ends on the contain, and then one of the corners on the contain. Mix it up. I promise you guys, that's the whole thing about this game is when you make it obvious what you're trying to do over and over again. Like, of course, they're going to be able to figure out what to do. But when you just keep mixing it up, so they never have a clue, like what in the world you're doing, that's when everyone starts to struggle. Because now they don't know. Like, they're like, okay, well, sometimes they're blitzing 7, sometimes they're blitzing 3, sometimes they're blitzing 5, sometimes it seems like I can't roll out, sometimes, like, look, like, they're just going to have no idea what to expect. That's the whole reason why I love this defense. Because by now, smart players, they've seen all the meta defenses. They know what to expect. Now, this defense is a pretty good defense that a lot of players do like to run. However, the difference between this defense and a lot of other ones is it's just so easy to disguise. You guys have seen this video. I've blitzed 3, I've blitzed 5, I've blitzed 7, I've manned people up, I've, played all out zone, I've had DNs on contains, I've had DBs on contains. I've shown you tons of different adjustments. So this is why I love this defense so much. I hope it's just as effective for you guys as it is me. I'm out. I'll catch y'all later with some more great Madden 20 tips.